All right, welcome to a new episode of Flipping Miami with Raul Bolufe. I'm your host, and today I have a very special guest. His name is Claudio Miro. He is a local. Number one, he's a friend of mine and a friend of the family. But Miro owns many dentist offices that do a variety of different things. We'll kind of touch base on that a little bit. And Miro, like I wanted to bring him on, and he's an interesting dude, right? From dentists, surgeries. He's a pilot for planes. He's a pilot for helicopters. He's just an overall like one of those most interesting man in the world type of guys. So
Thank you.
I think he's going to bring a lot of value. And he's also had some investments in real estate. He owns apartment buildings. He owns every place where his dental office is. He owns. So I think it's going to add a ton of value for the people here listening. But dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here with you.
Dale, bro. So Miro, I want to kind of like start, and I want to get into like what your businesses and stuff look like now. But I kind of want to start from the beginning. Like, let's say I would have met you in high school or your early years of college. Like, who was Claudio? Were you a good student always? Were you kind of like, did you play sports? Were you a back? Like, if I would have met you, when you were 18, 17, like who was Claudio back then?
Wow, that's a little while back. But I tell you, back then I was just like any of the people, any of our viewers that are watching us right now. I came from where I come from a very, my family was extremely poor. So I lived at a trailer park that no longer exists in Flagler on 107th Avenue.
Okay.
So it was a trailer park, and I'm Cuban. I left Cuba at the age of 4. Then I moved to Puerto Rico, but I came to Miami when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
So my parents came down here. They bought a little trailer, and we moved there. I remember that they lived in the room. It was only a 1-bedroom trailer.
Oh.
So I slept at the living room, and they would sleep in the room. So I was very hungry. I wanted to move forward. I wanted to do things right. Back then, I want to tell you that you can make money. There was 2 ways to make money. One of them was selling drugs, was the day of the cowboys, the cocaine, all of that. And I knew that was not for me. I didn't want to go that route. Sadly enough, but the truth is that a lot of my friends, close friends, they went to jail for trafficking, and I didn't want to go that route. So I told myself, you know what, I got to be smart. I don't want something that is short term. I always think on the long term. So let me study, let me move forward, and that way I can guarantee my future. I can have a guaranteed future. I was not a good student, believe it or not. I was really bad. Yes, extremely bad. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't smart. Too smart for school, I would say, because I was extremely hyperactive.
Really?
Very, very, very hyperactive. So I had ADHD. I mean, you name it, and I had it. Teacher didn't like me because I was just on the go, but I was very skilled with my hands. And I was smart, but I was just, like a normal kid that nowadays they will give them some medications. But for sure, they would have given me medications, but they didn't know back then, so no medications.
Right.
From there, I decided to study. I went to school. I went to Miami-Dade Community College. Okay. And I did my pre-med there. And it was hard because, like I told you, I didn't have a good foundation because I didn't do good in those years for high school. And I also went to Lindsay Hopkins, and I became a dental lab technician. And those are the ones that make the teeth at the lab. So I work with a very well-renowned dentist. His name is Richard Subran. He's the one that put in jail Ted Bundy. He's a guy that killed a lot of girls, and back in the day. Yeah. And then they would identify the victims. There was no DNA back then, so they identified the victims because of the bite marks. So I worked with him, and he encouraged me, and he told me, you know what, you have good hand skills. Why don't you continue and you go to dental school? So I was very blessed. My sister married a very nice, still married to him, my brother-in-law. And he told me, if you go to school in Santo Domingo, which it wasn't as expensive as here in the States, I will pay for your school. So I took that offer, went to Santo Domingo, studied, and came back 10 months after I came from Santo Domingo. I had my U.S. dental license.
Wow.
Because I didn't waste time. When I was there, like I told you, I was very hungry. I passed both of my national boards. I came back and I started practicing. And from there on, I started practicing, and I didn't know anyone. I was poor, so I didn't have good relationships. I didn't know people that have money that would do this big dental work, you know. And it wasn't, the internet wasn't big back then, as you know.
Yeah.
So I decided to put on a TV program.
Really?
And it was
like an infomercial?
Yeah, an infomercial. Yeah, a TV program, an infomercial. And it was very professional. It wasn't like, oh, I give you free cleaning, free this, free that. No. You come to my office and I'm going to give you what you need. And I'm going to treat you right. And we're going to do things the right way. And from there on, it was like, it flourished. And I started doing really, really good.
Wow.
And I was very, very blessed. And then everyone started noticing my name. I knew who I was. And nowadays, I want to tell you that I have been extremely blessed. Since I was very poor, I decided, you know, if for some reason dentistry doesn't do well, I need to invest my money. And I want to tell you, I'm one of the smartest guy when it comes to investing in the market, because I haven't lost a penny in the market, in the stock market.
Really?
Yes. So any of you that don't want to lose money in the stock market, you got to talk to me.
You got to follow Claudio. I love that.
You got to follow me. Yeah, and this is going to go far. But the truth is that I haven't lost my money in the stock market because I have not invested a penny in my life in the stock market.
I like that answer.
You like that, right?
I like that answer.
Because I don't want people to control my money. I want to control my money. So every penny that I got, every money that I made, I would invest it in properties. I will buy duplexes, apartment buildings, and I will buy them not in the best condition, and I will fix them.
Right.
And nowadays, I also owned all of the real estate for all of my dental practices, which it has been a blessing, especially right now with the COVID virus. Imagine going around. I mean, people have to pay rent. They have to pay their employees. But thank God I don't have to pay for that rent because I decided to buy all of my properties. The other thing is that since I come from a very poor family, I do believe that you should not owe a lot of money. I know that we are in a country that tells you, and everyone tells you, no, invest money. You know, it's good. It's okay if you owe a lot of money. That's not my theory. That's not my philosophy. But then again, I'm old school in that sense. Yeah. But I want to make sure that whatever I have it there. No one can take it away from me. Because I don't, you know, since I came from such a poor family, I want to make sure that I don't go back to that. And it's not that being poor, not having money, but I don't want to have to think that, you know, do I have enough money to meet my rent? Do I have enough money to buy the food? You know, I don't want to live like that. Do I have enough money to go and buy a regular, any car? It doesn't have to be something nice, even though we all want to drive nice cars or whatever, and that's fine. But I want to make sure that if I want to drive whatever I drive, that is paid for and that I don't know that car, you know. And the same thing with the toys, you know, when it comes to, you know, to the planes, the helicopter, you know, when it comes to the boats, you know, I'm a firm believer that if you have toys, they should be paid for.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to be paid for, then you can't afford them. Yeah. Because right now, just think about it. They're giving money for some stimulus, but if you have a boat, like if you buy a nice Intrepid, that's what everyone likes, or most people, to give you an idea, and you have invested $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 right now, that you will still have to pay that monthly payment, plus the insurance, plus the dock. But if you have a toy like that, then you don't have to worry. You just have one thing, you know, a dock, you know, to pay for it, you know.
No, and Claudio, you touched up on a lot of things, and it's like second nature to you now. So you went over things quickly, but basically, like, I mean, you got to think about this. You know, Claudio comes from like living in a trailer park that doesn't exist anymore in Flagler Street, Miami. He comes from there, like a 1-bedroom trailer park with his family, to then thinking, all right, there's 2 ways I can go here. I can either go illegally and sell drugs or do you know, hang out with the wrong people, or I can go legit and I could start getting an education. So he started small. He went to Miami-Dade College, just started getting an education, and I guess you fell through dental. Then little by little, you know, you met the friend of yours that the Ted Bundy type guy. He told you, hey, why don't you do this? And then you had the opportunity, which is so key because you were at that point smart enough to realize, okay, your brother-in-law is giving you an awesome opportunity, and you took it. There's so many people, and you probably know many people that get opportunities and don't take it because you're not mentally there.
Yeah.
like, what do you think like changed in you? Because like you mentioned you weren't the best student in high school. You had ADD, whatever, which is pretty funny. Because I know you now personally, and you're always like on the go and stuff, which I think is a very good trait, by the way. What do you think changed in you? Like, why did you go and jump into the dental opportunity, go to medical school? Like, what, you were not a good student, so why did you even think?
Well, because I was not, and that's the thing. A lot of times, and I'm sure that listen, I'm happy that you have you told me that there's a lot of young audience that watches or listens to you.
Yeah,
I think that is critical. A lot of times when we go to school, when we're young, we don't value how important it is to go to school and to have an education, whatever it is. Even if later on what you want to do is, I don't know, become a chef, which is really good, which you also need to study. And I'm saying a chef because right now my son is in dental school, but he wants to also go to, the culinary school. And I told him that's fine, really? The dental school. And if you want to continue then with the chef school and open a restaurant, that's fine. But you got to have something very solid to fall on where you could say, I made enough money here to build my restaurant with my name. And you know what? That's my, even though, let me tell you, being an owner of a restaurant is extremely good, but then go into business, study business, because you got to study, you got to have an education. So a lot of the young audience that are watching, a lot of times, in those young years, when you're in high school, maybe you didn't do good, but that doesn't mean that you're not smart. And that's why I keep saying I was and I consider myself, and I don't want to sound like arrogant, but I consider myself that I'm very smart, but I was too smart for the school, I would just get bored back then, so there's a difference between, someone that is really not smart when someone is smart. And a lot of people, what they have is just, they're not interested in that time in their life. But when I decided to go to school, that I knew that I had to do something for my future, what really clicked in my mind is that I told myself, do I want to continue living the way that I live? Or do I want to move forward? And at least, I never dreamed, let me tell you. When I was, the other good thing that I had in my life was, my dreams was I would see myself in a white coat treating patients. I wouldn't see myself with the toys, let's call them, with the good things that everyone wants, that they consider that that's what's going to give you happiness. And that doesn't give you happiness. Those are things to enjoy. But happiness, you have to be happy with a little, or with nothing, or with a lot of, different toys. Yeah. So really happiness, you gotta find yourself in the happiness, and the only way that you could do that is by you being happy with yourself. But in all truth, we have to think that we need to move forward. We need to study. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not smart. And what clicked in my mind was that I told myself, do I want to continue to live the way that I do, or do I want to move forward and have a future? And make sure, like I told you, that I can pay my rent. And I will see myself in a white coat, treating patients, not having all the toys. And what I wanted to say about that is that a lot of times when you go to work, you got to give it 101%. A lot of people, they want the money first. And then, they're going to do whatever. No, if you go to work, if you're working for someone, go with the best attitude. Give them 1,000%. Because that's for your benefit. You're not going to benefit them. Because if you have a mentality to succeed in life, doesn't matter what you do in life, even if you're going to go pick up, chicken eggs, be the best one at picking up those chicken eggs and make sure that none of them will get damaged. Put them in the place properly. And don't think about they're paying me $5, $6, $8 an hour, whatever. Forget about that. If you're not happy with $12, with $8, with $23 an hour, you know what? Change jobs. But when you're working with that person, you give them 1,000%, and you honor that job, because those people at that time, those hours that they're paying you for, they own you in a way, in a good way. I mean, they're paying you for that, so you're supposed to produce.
Right.
If you're not happy, then you move forward. But if you give them 1,000%, guess what? You may become the manager of that agriculture where they pick up the eggs. Yeah. You know what? You may buy the owner. But you got to put your 1,000%, because the owner has to say, this guy really cares for my business. You may be able to even buy into that business.
That's so good. That's so good. And I think it was Obama that said, like, if you're going to be a garbage man, be the best garbage man you can be. It's kind of like a good principle in life, and you have a good way of, like, your story is such a good way to articulate that principle, because, like, okay, I started here. Didn't matter what any teachers or schools said about me. Then even if I started in college, I still didn't really know. But then I took the opportunity, and then you found it in yourself, like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to work extremely hard. I'm going to be the best I could be, because I don't want that other life. Not that life is bad or good. It's just you just didn't want it. You wanted a better life for you and your future family and everything, which is so awesome. I think that's anyone listening to this, I'd rewind that and listen to it like 2 or 3 times. It's like a beautiful statement. And Claudio, let me ask you this. So let's fast forward a little bit now. So what does your business life look like now? I know you have your dental offices, you have some real estate. What kind of businesses are you operating in now? And like, what does that look like?
Well, right now, as a dentist, thank God that I own properties, because my dental offices are shut down. I'm only like in a little while after we finish, I'm going to go to my office, but I'm going to go see an emergency. I'm only allowed to see emergencies. What is an emergency? A patient that has a dental emergency, a patient that has pain, that has swelling, so that patient does not end up in the hospital, because you don't want someone, with a toothache, with a severe pain, with a swelling, with pus to go into the hospital right now. So, the medical professional is asking us dentists to step up. And I decided that I need to step up, because I love what I do. I love seeing my patients. I mean, when I'm there, I don't think about COVID-19, about nothing. You got to have a passion for what you do, like I always say. So my business, as a dental office right now is really shut down. All of my offices, all of my dentists are not working. My employees is down. But thank God that I have real estate to fall back. Because you always got to you cannot have all your eggs in one basket.
No.
And I always thought that real estate would be really good, because people need a place to live. People need a place where they got to have their business. So I think real estate is phenomenal. That's just me. That's old fashioned again.
Yeah. And was there anyone, or like, how did you like first get involved and buy your first property? What was that like? Did someone?
It was me alone. Believe it or not, I don't. It's not that I don't want to give credit to no one.
Yeah.
But it's just that I heard that the best thing would be to own properties. It was just in my business mind, which is good, and a lot of times the good thing, me being a doctor, a dentist, is that I have a good business mind, but I don't let that interfere with my professional. My most critical part with what I really, or the most important thing is that I would never put the business part before a patient ever. Because I'm committed to my profession. I love what I do, but I'm very good in business. So I would always think, I need to have money for the future. I'm going to get old. Maybe I don't want to work. Maybe I get hurt. Maybe something happens and I want to have some income coming in. And I think that the best way and the most secure way, and something that is for the long term, it's not that you're going to make a lot of money on the first day, but as you own those properties, they increase in value. Yeah. So you always gonna make money. And so right now I'm believe it or not, thank God that I own all of my real estate, because I'm making money there. Thank God that I also own all of my dental practices, like I was saying before, the real estate. We're talking about real estate,
right?
Because I have dentist friend of mine that they're in a little malls, those in a strip and a mall. Like I heard that they pay $60, $70, $80 a square foot or something like that. So imagine they have some of them are paying $8,500 between the cam, the whatever. Can you imagine just paying $8,500 and not making money right now as a dentist?
Oh my gosh, that's
And that money is going to the owner of the building. You're not making. So my advice to you is, if you have a business, try to own your real estate. I know that it's hard.
Yeah,
but try to do it again. Or at least dream about it. Dream about it. Think about it. Keep your mind open, because there's always opportunities,
I like that. And that's a good point. Like, if you can't afford it right now, dream about it, but have it in the top of your mind, so that when you do get a big deal, or when you start making a little bit more money, you save up and you put that in there to work. And let me ask you this, because you're like a jack of all trades, right? Like, you're dentist, you do surgeries, you're pilot, you're on the board of a dental organization. I remember you told me, I think in the state of Florida. Yes. There's many different things you do. and to me, it seems like you're never really going to stop. I don't think you're ever going to stop. You might slow down, but I don't think you're ever going to stop. What keeps you so passionate and so obsessed with continuing to grow yourself and learn new things? Like, what is it that keeps you going and keeps you like learning? I don't know what's going to be the next thing for you, but I'm sure in 2 years I talk to you, you're going to be like, oh, I now learned how to do this. What keeps you going?
Well, the thing is that someone like me wants to, I'm the type of person that I could, since I'm in the fast go, I can also get kind of bored, so I have, in dentistry, I have been very blessed. I do major, gorgeous reconstructions. And for the ones that are following us on my Instagram is DR, like Dr. DR Claudio Miro, like my first and last name. And they can see a lot of the surgeries that I do. And, and so one of the things is that I think that I need a new challenge in my life, continuously, because once you've done like those big surgeries, those big reconstructions, once the patients are happy, once you're happy with what you've done with your life, then you look for different things. And in this stage of my life, I always had a passion for flying. So many years ago, I started flying. And I was more interested in helicopters, believe it or not, than in airplanes. So I became a helicopter pilot. I also got my commercial as a helicopter. I got my instrument as a helicopter, and I became an instructor for helicopters.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I didn't only, because I believe that when you're going to, the bottom line, why did I do it? Am I going to teach someone? No, I'm not going to teach someone how to fly, even though I done it, just for fun, not to make money, because that's my hobby. I don't want to confuse. But when you're going to do things in life, you got to do them you got to do them with excellence. So if I'm going to become a pilot, I got to be the best pilot. How do I become a best pilot? Well, becoming an instructor. Because if you could teach others how to fly, then you got to be good, because they're going to make mistakes and you got to recoup from those mistakes, Yeah. The same thing with then after flying many, many years in helicopters, I decided, well, let me get my airplane license. And I went on and I started flying. And I told myself, you know what? I don't want to fly just a normal plane. I want to start flying jets. So I put my mind into it and I became a jet pilot, because when you do things in life, you got to do them with excellence. And I don't want to stay down here ever. I want to be with the top. Yeah. I want to be with the big boys. I want to play the big game. But that's just for my satisfaction. And that's just me. Now, needless to say, not everyone that is listening to us is going to have this mentality. And if you don't, it's fine. But whatever your expectations, wherever you want to be, make sure that if it's at this level for you, this may be for you and this may be for me. But if this is your top, if this is your 100%, you know what? Give me your 100% down here. Don't stay short of your own 100%.
Yep. That's you have a lot more experience. I'm still typically younger. I'm 27 now. I talk to people and stuff, and how often do I'm sure you have many dentists working for you. Probably some of them are younger, some are older, etc. When you talk to dentists or people in your field, or even people want to become pilots or business owners, what is something that you see in young people that you're like, okay, that is a good quality, or hey, I think you should work on this. You understand? So like, when you let's say you have a couple dentists want to work with you, what is something that you spot out in them and like, all right, I like this guy. That's a good quality. What do you think it is? What's that like little drive that you've already done so much, you can see it in people?
I don't want to talk about this generation because they're listening to us, and I don't want to be in any way rude, but I got to say the truth. I'm not entitled to nothing in life. I got to earn it. Okay. When someone comes into my office, even if it's a dentist, if that person has an attitude that they told me, I'll do whatever you want, whenever you want, at whatever hour, within normal expectations or normal things that I'm asking, But someone that I didn't care to go into a dental office and clean the office. I don't. If you need to mop the floors, I do it. And I do it with pride. So as a business owner, if you have to do it at the beginning, you have to do it. There's nothing wrong. I don't see anything wrong with, no, I'm a doctor. I can't clean the floor. The heck with it. The water spilled on the floor, you clean it, You want someone, when I see someone that is going to succeed in life, it's that person that tells you whatever, whenever. Like if we go out in my boat and you see me in my boat and I'm driving, I get to the place. Before I get to the place, you know what? Start getting the ropes out. Get everything ready. How can I help you? Ask me. Do I put the bumper here? Do I do it there? Listen, or maybe you don't know about boating, zero experience. But be right next to me and tell her, listen, I have zero experience, never been in a boat, well, only been a couple of times where I know nothing about boating. But please, whatever you told me, I'm going to try to do it to my best. Tell me how to do it, and I want to help you. That's the attitude that you got to have in life. And don't think, when you go to work, oh, you know what, are you going to pay me more to do that? But you only hire me to do whatever, to do the programming in the computer, or you only hire me to call to see if I can find people that want to sell the real estate.
Yeah.
You do whatever. I hire you for that, but you know what? You need to get the bathroom ready. You need to order the materials. You need to, before you get to work, you need to show a property that it was going to be sold, whatever.
I love that.
That's the person the person with that attitude. But sadly enough, we've seen it. There's people that are just lazy.
Yeah. And
they just come to work and they do the minimum or below the minimum. And that's who they are. Yeah. But then a lot of them, not everyone, then they have this big ambitions in life. Some of them, no, let me tell you. Some of them I have, I want to tell you something. I have some awesome employees that I know this is up to where and that's it, but they're happy with their house, with their lifestyle, with everything. And they don't care about working it overtime, none of that. But they're good employees. So at least be good for those 8 hours. If you're going to work for me, anyone that works for me is good, let me tell you. If not, they would not fit in my team. I would tell them, listen, I'm sorry, and they leave, they won't fit on our team. But at least the 8 hours, the 6 hours, 4, whatever hours you work, give them your best, give them your 100%.
No, and I think what Claudio mentioned there, and there was a lot of good things there. It's like, it's that whatever it takes factor, it's that, like, what's that extra little, and you mentioned it earlier too, when you said, when you go to work, give your 101%. That extra 1% is that, like, hey, something fell on the floor, clean it type of thing. Instead of being asked to do it, you're like, okay, I'm not going to work in a dirty environment. Let me clean this. And
maybe we're missing paper in the office. So they were working in my office. We're missing paper. Hey, boss, do you want me to run a second to the Office Depot and get you the paper?
Yeah.
I'll pay for it. Don't worry, boss. If you have the money and you give it to me now when I come back, I'll give you the receipt, whatever. Jump, like that attitude where you go, man, this guy, this girl, this is nice. I want them next to me. I want them in my team.
Yeah.
I want them to go to the playoff with me. I want them to win the championship with me.
Yeah. Claudia, and like, because you have a lot of experience, you have many offices. What do you think is the biggest lesson that took you the longest to learn? What is something that it took you a while to learn it, but it's like, man, I wish I would have learned that sooner, or you needed a lot of hits in life for you to like learn that? Was it something with people? What is, when you look back, you're like, man, I wish that I would have known that sooner, or man, that was a painful lesson to learn. Does anything come to mind when? One thing,
yeah. Now that you said that, something that I changed in my life. So I have my dental office, and my first dental office was in the Ocean Bank building, on the 5th floor. I spent there like 18 years, and I was paying rent. That wasn't smart. I would own a lot of properties, but I didn't buy my own office. So that's something that I regret. Thank God when the market crashed, they had asked me before in 2008 that they wanted me to, even though I was buying all the real estate, my other offices, but the main one, I didn't want to move it. I was just comfortable, I didn't want to move it. But thank God that they told me to move. When the market crashed, that happened with the banks, they told me, now you stay. But I go, no, you told me to move, and I'm building a building, and I built a really big office in Coral Gables. Beautiful. In the Union 6, Yeah. And that was a really good move that I did there.
Yeah. And now that property is probably worth it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That property, that was a really good move. So that's one of the things that I regret, I should have bought more, all of my real estate earlier in time, even my own business, that's something that I learned that I would have done a little bit different.
That's so good. I feel like a lot of the people that I'm sure you talk to, when you ask them like, hey, what would you have done different? A lot of them are like, I wish I would have bought more. I wish I would have bought more. And it's just like it's kind of common sense. You know, things happen.
Well, yeah, I feel like I should have bought more. And that's something that I was also going to tell you. You know, sometimes I feel, should I be more aggressive? But I don't know, man, because I'm happy where I am. I'm very comfortable. I own my properties, you know, I don't owe money. And it's good not to owe much money, you know.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, you're more intelligent than most people. And if you feel like, if you would know when it's a good time to buy, you're going to know. You understand? Like you knew
when the market crashed, I bought then another building for another dental office of mine. Something that I would not do right now. Oh, the other thing I was so that office in the Ocean Bank also, it was, since it was in the 5th floor, it was hidden. So if you're a dentist, like for your business, maybe no one is going to stop from the streets and look at you. Right. But in my business as a dentist, a medical office, maybe a hair salon, don't be inside a building and, you know, in a condo, whatever. No.
Claudio, what is some of like the marketing that you're doing? I mean, I know Corona right now is kind of annoying, but let's say once all this is over or before all this in like regular business.
So since I cater to every patient, but a lot of the major reconstructions is more in the older patient, because someone young like you would only may need, you know, like I saw not too long ago, a young patient in my office, young, playing basketball, 18 years old, both front teeth fractured completely. I had to do implants. But most of the patients are older, you know, that the ones that need major reconstructions, even though I do simple ones. So I still have my TV program, but I also, one of the good things that I did is that I hire an in-house person for the marketing, and they're running my Instagram, and it has done very well.
Really?
Yeah, about 4 months ago that I hired. No, it was in January. Yeah, 4 months. Okay. I only had about 1,000 something followers, about 12 to 1,300. Right now I'm at 6,000 plus followers. Wow.
Yeah, you guys have to follow him. You put some good stuff on there. I've seen you putting a lot of videos, and you have like a leopard or what kind of?
Oh yeah, that's my cat. If you want to see it, yeah, that's a Savannah cat.
The Savannah cat, super cool.
Let me see if he's around. I don't see him. But ahí no está gatico blanquino. So, you know, but he's gorgeous.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I see you put videos on there with him. So definitely follow. I'm going to put your Instagram and your website on the show notes. As far as like the dental office, do you have a website for that if people want to check you out?
Yeah, Miro Dental Centers.
Miro Dental Centers.com. Awesome. So one last kind of big question before we wrap it up here. And I'd like to ask this to people that I speak with on here. And you might be a lot closer than this than more people I've interviewed. But when you think of $100 million, where does your brain go? What do you think? I know you're big on dental. I know you have real estate. But when you think of like $100 million, like what do you think about? Is it more offices? Is it real estate? Like what goes through your mind?
I would think more real estate, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I would think, I think real estate is the way to go. And it has taken many years for people to realize that. But I think even if you buy wrong with real estate, if you hold on to the property, it will come out in value again.
Yeah.
It's never going to go back.
No.
It's not. Even when the market crashed or whatever, if you would have hold on to those properties. Like I remember one of my dental offices that I bought in 135th and 88. Facing 88th Street, which is a very difficult place to find like something that is facing like how I like it, on Kendall.
Oh, in Kendall, okay.
In Kendall, so it was owned by a bank, you know, someone lost it and I stole that property, man. 3,000 square feet. I only needed 1,500, divided it. So I rented the other half to a doctor. They paid me rent, and I'm rent free on my side. And I built it brand new, beautiful. I stole it. I mean, I stole it.
Yeah. And that's good because, like,
if you run into any good deals, let me know, man.
Yeah, if any of you guys listening,
what do you think the market is going to do? That's my other question to you now.
Yeah, I think that I've already seen some price. Well, I know more about the single family market space. That's kind of like my little niche. So in single families, I've already seen about 10% decrease in price. I think it's going to go down another 10 to 20%. No one really knows exactly yet. I think that now coming from May 1st to May 10th, we won't see how much people pay rent. If a lot of America does not pay rent, the prices are going to go way down. If a lot of America pays rent, then we might see prices stable for a while. banking is harder. It's becoming a little tougher. Basically, I think prices are going to go down, but no more than 20%. No more than 20%. I don't think it's going to be that crazy. Yeah, so definitely be a good time to look at it. I don't think right now is a good time to buy. I think in about 4 to 6 months is a good time to buy from what I'm seeing and studying about it. But it's crazy. And Emilio, last thing before we let,
I want to buy a property in the Keys. So if you run into anything in the Keys, you call me. Let's buy something new.
I actually have a guy. I'll send you a text maybe after. But I have a guy who wants to sell a piece of land right in the Keys.
Really? Okay.
Maybe it would be something. I'll send it to you after here. And so what's kind of like, this will be like the last thing before we wrap up. What's like the next big, like, what are you excited about moving forward, after coronavirus? What's kind of like Claudio's, what's your next project? What are you excited about?
Well, I'm believe it or not, I'm still going to look at buying dental office too. If something shows up, yeah. Because I think that some doctors are going to hurt, sadly. And I want to jump in and be there. So dental office may be a really good thing. But in order for you to own dental offices, you have to be a dentist yourself. Like you can invest on it, but you're going to have a dentist on board. But dentistry is very profitable. I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, it is. It's a good profession. And it's nice because even though I run into emergencies sometimes, but most of the times I live a very good life. I don't have to go to my office,
Right. Yeah, and you've set up your businesses. I went to one of them, the one you have in Hollywood, and you have like a machinery. Like the way you run it is very good.
It's duplicating the same thing that in this one. Yeah, you gotta just duplicate.
I love that you not only studied and got your degree and went to medical school, learned all the stuff, but you also put a business hat on and learned how to operate an efficient, which I don't think many doctors or medical.
They're not. You're right about that. That's the problem. In dental or medical school, they teach you zero about business, really. So if you don't have that mentality, but I owe that to my father. My father was a salesman, he owned a business himself. He would sell like auto parts, accessories and that. And, he was a hustler, Cuban, like your dad, something like that. Yeah. And I would go with him, and I learned so much from my dad, so I owe it to him. Very blessed.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Man, I really appreciate you coming on. I know you got a bunch of stuff going on. And for anyone listening, I'm going to put his Instagram and his website on the show notes so you guys can click on that.
If they want to call my office, I'll give you my office telephone number, 305.
305?
442.
442. Let me write it down.
7444 in case that anyone needs a dentist.
444. And I'm sure you take insurances and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, we take insurance. Yes, we do.
Everything.
We do.
So if you guys are
from A through C, and everything is with board certified specialists.
Yeah.
So we got everything, but I don't want to brag about it, but I have gorgeous, beautiful dental office.
You really do.
Very clean, very nice.
Yeah, he really does. And he has offices in from Kendall,
Miami, Kendall, Miami, Kendall, Coral Gables, Hialeah, and Hollywood.
I love that. So pretty much all over. Dade and Broward.
Yeah, Dade and Broward. Yeah.
No excuses. You gotta go visit Claudio for anything dental. And if you catch him there, it'll be a good sight. But follow him on Instagram. Thank you guys for listening. This will be on YouTube, iTunes. If you're listening to this on iTunes, feel free to check it out in my YouTube channel, Raul Bolufe, and you'll be able to see the visual and all that. And I appreciate you guys listening. And Claudio, again, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you, my brother. Have a good day, okay?
Thank you.